And then things got late on Friday night. By the time we wrapped up the live show on Thursday night, I've got almost an hour and a half drive back to my house from the studio. I didn't get to bed till after 2 a.m. I got up with the baby a little after 6, so I maybe had 4 hours of sleep on Thursday night. And then Friday, it's about 11 o'clock at night. I'm just dragging ass. And I'm like, hey, I'm just going to stay up. I'm going to see what the Browns do at 94 so I can, post about it and everything. Then I can go to bed. Well, what the Browns did at 94 was such a wrench into anything that I thought they were going to do, so out of left field, that I was up for like another 2 or 3 hours after that because I just couldn't sleep. My mind was like, what are we doing here? And the pick in round 3, at the end of round 3, 94, was Dillon Gabriel, quarterback out of Oregon. And like I said, this one had me and pretty much everybody on social media, probably you guys watching, saying, what are we doing? What are we doing? And at the time, and again, it was late Saturday night, so I was obviously about half asleep before this happened, but Jalen Milroe went to the Seahawks just 2 picks before the Browns were on the clock. So when the pick came through and it was Dillon Gabriel, it really felt like they were just maybe kind of making a panic pick because maybe they thought Milroe was just going to fall to them at 94, and then as soon as he got taken right before them, the Seahawks might have sniped him. And so the Browns just quickly pivoted and said, well, we had 94 earmarked for a quarterback, so we're just going to take the next one on our board, and it's Gabriel. Boom, they took him. And it was just really strange because it felt like Dillon Gabriel, they were never linked to him in the pre-draft process at any point that I could remember. I don't remember talking about him other than him being at the Senior Bowl. And there were so many other players on the board that we needed in positions of need. There was Alec Ayamanor and Jalen Royals, 2 wide receivers that I thought, well, man, one of these guys would be great here at 94. I can't believe they're even still available. There was a guy like Xavier Watts at the safety position. Like, we need a freaking safety bad. So I was kind of hoping we were going to take a player like that. There were some, I forget who it was. There were some linemen on the board still. Whatever the case may be, I was like, let's continue to revamp this offense and beef things up. We did stick with offense, but we took Dillon Gabriel. And then, like I said, I was up confused, just trying to figure out what was that all about? And then the next morning, Saturday morning, Mary Kay Cabot wrote an article with some more information that came out from the Browns. It was either in the morning yesterday or late Friday night, talking about the Dillon Gabriel pick, and things started to make a little more sense. And I'll go into that here in a second, but first let's go through his profile. So Dillon Gabriel, on the shorter side, smaller side for a quarterback, 5'11", 205 pounds, 24 years old. His college career. So first of all, in high school, he broke Tua Tagovailoa's Hawaii State high school record for the most career passing yards. In 2019, he started off at UCF. He started 12 contests. 12 contests. I shouldn't even copy and paste this. He started 12 games. Anyway, he had a 59.3% completion percentage, 3,653 yards, 29 touchdowns to just 7 picks. And he also had 78 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns on the ground. He was the Gasparilla Bowl Most Valuable Player, where he had 260 yards, 2 touchdowns passing, and a rushing touchdown. And then in 2020, again, at UCF, he was the second-team All-American Athletic Conference, ranked 5th in the FBS with 3,570 pass yards. He had the second most total offensive yards per game at 373.9, and he started all 10 games in 2020. So just his second year playing, and he had the second most offensive yards per game in the entire country. Not bad. 2021, again at UCF, started the first 3 games, had 114 yards, 9 touchdowns, 3 picks, and he had 125 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns on the ground before he suffered a broken left clavicle, and he missed the rest of the season. So 2022 transfers to Oklahoma, and he gets named Big 12 Offensive Newcomer of the Year. Started 12 games. He had 3,168 yards on a 62.7% completion percentage, 25 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions, and he had 315 yards on the ground with 6 rushing touchdowns. 2023, again at Oklahoma, first team All Big 12, ranked tied for 8th with 30 passing touchdowns to just 6 interceptions. He had the 9th best completion percentage in the nation at 69.3, 3,660 passing yards, led the team with 12 rushing touchdowns. So he led Oklahoma in 2023 in rushing touchdowns. He had 373 yards on the ground. He then entered the transfer portal after the regular season and went to Oregon for 2024. In 2024, Dillon Gabriel, third-team Associated Press All-American, Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year, Quarterback of the Year, first-team All-Big Ten. He was a finalist for the Heisman Trophy Award. He finished third in Heisman voting. Ranked second in the FBS with 72.9% completion percentage. Guess who he was behind? It was just Shedeur Sanders was the first, and the next best in completion percentage, Dillon Gabriel. He had the 7th most passing yards in the nation with 3,857, and he was tied for 8th in the nation with 30 passing touchdowns. Again, just 6 interceptions. And if you're following along, he has never had more than, 6, 7, 8 interceptions in a season, something like that. He's never thrown double-digit picks. He set the FBS record with 188 career total touchdowns, 63 career starts at quarterback, which is now the new record. He beat Bo Nix's 61 games started at quarterback. He tied Case Keenum's FBS record with 155 career passing touchdowns. He started all 14 games in 2024. He also had 149 yards and 7 touchdowns on the ground. So that was a lot. I need to take a little drink here, I think, after reading all of his accolades and everything that he accomplished throughout college. There's no denying, however you feel about Dillon Gabriel and the pick at 94 for the Browns, they got a guy who was ultra productive in college. One of the best quarterbacks, honestly, in college football. And he is now on the Cleveland Browns. So Draft Profile says Gabriel is an older and smaller quarterback prospect, but he offers a tremendous amount of game experience. Again, 63 starts in college and productivity. I mean, he's got the most touchdowns and stuff in college football history. He operates with poise and confidence from the pocket. His field vision is average, but he typically takes care of the football. He's capable of playing within the confines of an offense and can create yards with his legs as needed. Gabriel's accuracy and timing is accurate on shorter throws, but the placement becomes a bit erratic when pushed outside of his comfortable range. He might require a ball control passing game to help manage his lack of arm talent and keep him from throwing into closing windows. He's an effective scrambler who is able to elude pressure and make plays outside of the pocket. Gabriel requires a very specific offensive fit, but he's a gamer with enough good tape to have a chance to become a decent backup. Okay. So what I found out then yesterday morning, after I woke up still barely confused about the pick, found out that the Browns did have Dillon Gabriel into Berea for a top 30 visit. And it was actually on the very first day that top 30 visits even opened up this preseason or this offseason. And he came in along with Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, and Abdul Carter. And then the day before Colorado's Pro Day, the Browns top brass, Jimmy Haslam, Kevin, AB, all those guys flew to Oregon and actually held a private workout with Dillon Gabriel, and they took him to dinner. So this was news to me and everybody else because this workout and the meeting with Dillon Gabriel in Oregon was kept completely under wraps until after he was picked. Pretty insane. So we knew about all the other workouts, Milroe, Dart, Cam Ward. We knew that they had Tyler Shuck in for a top 30 visit. We knew that they had Shedeur in for a top 30 visit. They went to Shedeur's Pro Day. They went to Dart's Pro Day, all this stuff. Did not know about these private meetings with Dillon Gabriel. And then we find out, this isn't news, but it was reiterated. Bubba Ventrone and D-line coach Jacques Cesare for the Browns both got firsthand experience with Gabriel at the Senior Bowl. Cesare was the defensive coordinator on Dillon Gabriel's team, and Ventrone coached against him. So by all accounts, and if you read between all the lines, Dillon Gabriel was the Browns quarterback in this draft. He was the guy that they wanted. And this was the area, the range in the draft where they had pretty much planned to take him. And we're going to talk all about this. I think this will probably dominate the conversation later this week with Blake and Justin. the Shedeur Sanders, Dillon Gabriel conundrum. But this just seems like the Browns guy. And if you watch the video, and I'll post it on all our socials at the Dawgs Podcast, go check it out. The video call from the Browns to Dillon Gabriel had a much different tone and much different sentiments than the one between the Browns and Shedeur Sanders. So go watch both of those, and you guys drop in the comments. Let me know what you think about that and what you guys think in general about the Browns taking Dillon Gabriel at 94.